there, guys. Welcome back to Eunice Talks Chelsea. I hope all of you are doing well as we gear ourselves up for another day, another dollar. More news, more things happening. Well, we're going to get into it very, very shortly. Also, on the World Cup front, it's game day. It's match day. It's the big one. It's Mexico versus the England. And that's taking place at the Azteca. That's in the early hours of the morning for everyone, especially me, right? But we're kitted out. We're ready to go. We've got the retro on. If you want yourselves one of these, you know what to do. Right there. QR code. Link in the description. Discount code for 8% off. YTC. Go and cop yourselves one. Go and cop yourselves whatever you want from there. Go and have a look. Enjoy, knock yourselves out, and get it in time for when England play the World Cup final. Anyway. That's if we get past tonight, flipping hell. I mean, I expect the boys to do well, considering they're all going to be on Viagra. So, happy days. Now, let's get into the Chelsea latest, flipping hell. The latest on La Croix. Right, that's gone cold, isn't it? We ain't heard much in terms of that since it was all kicking off last week. Well, what's the latest? Let's get into it. Here's Fabrizio. Saying, I'm told behind the scenes Chelsea are maintaining active contacts for Maxence Lacroix. Two important things. The pricing, because Palace are still asking for big money, and Palace replacement. The deal remains on, conversations on, we have to track. We just don't like the sound of this, do we? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. When we start hearing things like, asking big money, conversations on tracking, monitoring, observing, waiting. I mean, flipping hell. Our track record, talking about tracking, our track record when it comes to this sort of lingo is basically 99% of it all going wrong and 1% of it going right. So unless this is going to be a bit miraculous, I expect complications, if I'm being honest. I just do. Let's not kid ourselves. This is one defender that has to be done. This is one that has to be done. Now, I understand Crystal Palace having to look for a replacement. I've said that. That my expectation is that we won't get a deal getting announced properly unless if Palace actually get themselves a replacement in line. But question remains, are we going to pay the money? We bloody better. We better. I think we can agree. This is one player that we can look at conclusively, collectively, and we'll go, yeah, we should absolutely have him. So let's see, because this is going to be interesting, and I think it's going to take a bit of time, considering there's still 2 months in the window left, and we like to drag things out, and we like to hustle, and we like to, not pay, and we like to do all of this, And then when it comes to the other way around, we demand so much from the players that we're selling that, we don't want to treat it the other way, in the other direction, basically, when we're looking to buy. When it comes to players that are a necessity, that are an absolute must, and you have to pay anyway, just pay. Pay and don't speak. Pay and don't speak. I wish there was someone to say to Bluko, pay and don't speak, Bluko. Like Mourinho did to Abramovich. Pay and don't speak, Mr. Abramovich. And then we had Drogba. So there we are. Let me know your thoughts on that one. Don't expect anything anytime soon, basically, from Lacroix. Yeah, we're going to have to wait on this one, just like most. Now, the one that I didn't expect to wait on, let me be honest, is this. Here it is. Chelsea keep working on Pep Chavaria deal at left back as talks continue after opening bid rejected. Chavaria wants Chelsea. A new round of talks has been scheduled. Okay, well. The player wants Chelsea, great, that'll give some leverage, but I'm surprised this has taken long. I have to say, I'm surprised. This one I thought would just get done in 5 minutes. Opening bid rejected. How much was that? How much did we bid? I'd love to know. Was it £2.50 and a packet of peanuts and a crisps, or what's... Let's see. I expect this one to get done. I do. Surely. If we can't get this done, we're screwed. Let's be honest. I think much like Palestra got done, this gets done. You're all mad. For Palestra, we spent 55 million euros. Yeah, 55 million euros. That's about just close to 50 million quid. Yeah, no hesitation. Boom, thank you very much, job done. And then when it comes to some others, you think, how the hell is this not getting done? It's crazy. You know, it's very reminiscent to how on it we were to getting players through the door like Gittins and like Garnacho and all these guys. It's like, yeah, okay, boom, done. Pay the money, finished, done. You know, when it comes to young, on the rise, potential, ceiling sort of players, not a problem. We get that done quick. You know, and to be fair, not to say that this player is a world beater, he's not, but he is 28. And I think we're starting to notice a pattern. Wherever the deals start to take long, it means there's hesitancy on Chelsea's part. It means Chelsea are a little bit like, not so sure on this one. Let's go in with something small. Let's see what happens. Can we get it for something tiny? No, it didn't work. Crap. Okay. I'm not feeling this. You know, I'm not feeling this. That's the vibe that I get when it comes to why some deals take long with Chelsea. That's just the track record. That's just how it's been for 4 years. You know, we've noticed a pattern. This is pattern recognition. It's according to the data. What can I say? Bluco would understand that language. So, yeah, look, I'll be honest. I surely this gets done. Surely. This is meant to be the backup to Hato. You know, the experience coming through the door to be backup to Hato. Unreal. Anyway, do you think it happens? Would you like the player? Let me know down below. This one is hilarious. This one's hilarious, and it's the main event of the video, for being completely honest. Here it is. Man United are targeting Andrey Santos, who is valued in the region of £50 million. Santos is open to leaving to get more regular minutes. How did that developing work then? You know what's funny? We get players in that are going to be part of the rebuild, and then we sell the rebuild to rebuild again. But at the end of the day, what's the truth here? The truth is, we bought Andrey Santos in for £18 million back in 2023, and he could now leave for £50 million. Thank you very much. That is a £32 million profit just on the transfer fee. Forget the amortization. He's already had 3 years of his contract basically fulfilled. So what are we getting here? But there's one thing here. To sell him to Man United, you're flipping mad. Man United. Andrey Santos is a good footballer. In that video of keep, loan and sell, do you remember where I put him? I was hesitating between putting him in keep or putting him in loan. I was saying, you know what, a loan might actually help him, considering in the midfield he might not play so much, but he's a player that I think we should keep. But to just flog him off like this to Manchester United, who, by the way, when you look at the reception from the Man United fans after this news, they're not even keen. They're going, why are we going for Chelsea's backup? That's how we're valued now. These sort of players that we big up, right, completely. We, like Santos, we all like go, yeah, it's right there, yeah, absolutely. Man United, like, bruv, why are we going for Chelsea's backup? Well, we should be aiming higher. Just goes to show, that's just something to focus on, yeah, very quickly, just to concentrate on, yeah. Be careful how low you start to level your standards and how low you start to put your expectations. And it's very dangerous, because then you begin to accept things that shouldn't really be accepted over a period of time, because you start to process it as normal. And I think that's been a big problem within the Chelsea fan base and within Chelsea Football Club as a football club as well. And I think it's stemmed down all the way to the fan base. And we've acclimatized to it now, unfortunately. But that's not saying Andrey Santos is a bad footballer. He's not a bad footballer. Andrey Santos is someone I would absolutely want. But I think he does need to play more minutes. However, a loan would be good for him. I know he's been on loan at Strasbourg. He's come back, right? I think some people would argue, no, you know what? He can be on the bench. He can be someone part of the squad. Well, yes, but at the same time, is Santos someone that should be getting more minutes? Much like I reckon Joshua Chempong should be getting more minutes, yes. But I would keep him. He's a good midfielder. I wouldn't want to sell him. But are Bluco going to look at it that way? When they got him for 18 million from Brazil, and now we could flog him for 50 million, irrespective of his Manchester United. Let's see. This would be a good little signing for Manchester United, you know. It would be. Even at 50 million, yeah, I think that would work pretty well. considering if they get some stability in their midfield and Santos is a part of that setup and they've got Champions League football and they're going to be rotating for the season, they've got many games, Santos could play a big part. So, yeah. Some would argue 50 million is not enough. Some would argue it should be more, considering that the centre mid position now has been inflated like flipping crazy. Inflated like I was going to say something there, not so PG, I'm going to be honest. I'm not. Let's just say it involved BBLs. Let's just leave it at that. But with this though, yeah, his fee could be higher. But listen, Chelsea, Blue Co, I'll be looking at this like I said in terms of profit margin, 18 to 50 minus amortization. Flipping hell, you know. So, would you do this? Let me know down below. Let me know down below. I wouldn't. Not to Man United. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm just saying, though, be careful. He might actually get sold. Let's see. Now, Fabrizio's mentioned on potential outgoings here as well. Pay attention to this. Mamadou Sarr is a player appreciated by Como and considered for a loan. Not sure at this stage if Chelsea would open doors to that. Plenty of interest from other clubs, but it's in Chelsea's hands. Chelsea does trust in him for the future. This is a player that needs a loan, without question. Without question. The fact we brought him back in the first place was just ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. It's just, I get it, because defensively we're a mess, right? And in the season we were panicking. We were panicking because our defense didn't know what to do. They didn't know their faces from their asses, pretty much. But if we're talking logically, yeah, Mamadou Sarr should be a player that's on loan, getting, growing and developing. So yeah, I would be open for him to go in on loan. Como could be a good thing for him. Yeah, that could be good. Champions League football too. I would be in favour of that. Personally, I would be in favour. So let's see if something can happen. But that would have to signify that we're getting a centre-back in. You know, if we're selling these players, if we're selling Badiashile, Tosin, even potentially Fofana, Disasi, and then you send Sarr on loan, well, bloody hell, Lacroix has to happen. There's no if, buts, or maybes. Do you know what I mean? So let's see how this one's going to pan out. But I would absolutely do Sarr to Como on loan without question. I would sanction that instantly. So let me know what you would do as well. Do you agree with me or disagree? Let me know down below. To wrap up, this is hilarious. I brought this up for a reason. Check this out. David Ornstein says, Mahdi Nicoli Jazuli, top Chelsea prospect. Signs scholarship terms, plus will move to pro contract when 17 in January. 16-year-old midfielder rejected many leading European clubs and pledged future to Chelsea. England youth international also pursued by France. Like I said, I brought this up for one reason. Why? Why is this being reported? Why? What's the point? This ain't news. Let's be honest. No one knows the geezer. Why is this being pushed? By David Ornstein as well. Bruv, he's 16. He's 16. Actually, let me check. When did he turn? When did he turn 16? Let's have a look. Okay, he's 16 and a half. Yeah, he's 16 and a half. In January. Born in Australia, plays for England under 17s. Why is this news? Makes Chelsea look really good. That's one. And we know someone like David Ornstein is very much at the forefront of doing things like that. Not a problem. Right? And two, well, it opens pathways for the player. Maybe there's been requests. Maybe there's been things about trying to get the player pushed a little bit. So boom, all right, get the journalists on board and start, getting them to start speaking about someone like this who realistically, and why am I mentioning this? Someone at this age and at that level should not even be mentioned. Let them play their football and let them grow organically. Pushing things to the forefront like this. The guy's 16. I think it's. I think that's a bad thing overall. Not just for this player. I think overall for really young players, getting pushed in the media by someone who is at the forefront of footballing media in the world, like an Ornstein or like a Fabrizio. I think this is damaging to these really young players. Let's just let them play their football, for goodness sakes. I find it weird when I see journalists speaking about these really young, they're not even playing at professional level yet. What are we doing? Let them get on with it, man. Mental. Because now what he's about to be exposed to in terms of some limelight, in terms of some attention, rumours, this, that, he's not ready for that. Then these guys at this age, they're not ready for that. But we're forcing them into that situation. I think it's unfair. I just thought I'd mention that. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? I'd love to know. Let me know down below. And I'll leave it there. Thank you all so much. We'll go into things more from now until later. We'll see what's kicking off. Video number 2 later tonight. And then there is the World Cup watch-alongs. I'm going to do a video on Klopp to Germany as well over on Eunice Talks Football. So let me know your thoughts on there. As well as the watch-alongs, Brazil, Norway, and then Mexico, England. It's time for the Viagra to work. Anyway, I'll see all of you later. Have a good one, people. Subscribe, notification bell on. See you later. Take care and peace.